So we'll see.
I do think because you're able to like socially flex them in better ways, the values can go so much higher, because that is the downside. Like you have a vault, and like when people come over to a party, you're like, oh, let me show you my vault, where you can show off your rare comics or whatever. It's just hard to really socially flex it. When you saw with Bored Apes, because people were able to socially flex Twitter profile pic, people were paying $300,000 for them, and there's 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
So they're really not all that scarce, but because the social flexibility was so high, people were willing to pay a huge amount for them.
Agreed. So something I brought up with sleeping yesterday that I wanted to bring up to you guys, we'll start with Tammy, is 2 years ago yesterday, we had a YouTube channel called WAGME, short for We're All Gonna Make It, saying, what is Recur? Is it the VeVe killer? Backed by Gary V and Hello Kitty, TMNT, Sports NFTs. And then you had Hustle and Power, another YouTuber, saying, what is the Recur Pass? Is it a VeVe killer? Hello Kitty, Rugrats, Star Trek. So in the Venn diagram, we shared a couple of licenses, but Recur and more recently DraftKings, they had a ton more money in order to do for marketing, in order to do collaborations. And both of them have since shut down. Tammy, what gets you, because most of the money in markets, at least as far as retail and shopping, is really driven by women. Yeah, men might make a little bit more of the money sometimes, but women are the ones that tend to decide where that goes, because they do the shopping for the household. So what gets you spending on VeVe, and why didn't you spend really on Recur or other places?
So, I thought about buying Recur. I did not. It wasn't some of the. I mean, I looked into it, but some of the demographics, the way that they looked, I didn't like it as much as I liked it on VeVe. The AR, the way I could see it, the 3D images, I just liked it a lot better than what was in Recur. And for me, I know a lot of people, not a lot, I know a few people that had the Recur, they had all of those different things. Bat cows, and I had already decided that if I was going to invest in something else, I'd have to do a lot more research, I'd have to learn. And I had already done that with VeVe, and I was okay with that decision for me. Basically because I just believed in what I was investing in. I did not believe in Recur. I didn't. I mean, I had heard so many things about Gary V, not saying that some bad, some good. I don't know him. I don't know the project. And so for me, it was just investing in something that I already believed in, which is what I did. I just chose not to participate.
How about you, Rain? What do you think VeVe's secret sauce is, as opposed to that others don't have?
Oh, their team.
Yeah, a couple things with that. But like, I bought some Recur passes, but they just never delivered. Even the initial thing, they had some rarities that were cool. It's just hard to understand. And the big circle was like, okay, so implementation matters. So going back to the launch of the VeVe app, they had these augmented reality 3D characters that you could put on your phone, even in the early days, and you could kind of place them in the environment. And so it was way better implementation with the top level intellectual property. So it's amazing how many VeVe killers have been killed by VeVe.
No, agreed.
And it also, when everything's coming out and saying, is this the VeVe killer? It's an admission of who number one is, right? And VeVe continues to be number one. And so like a lot of people, it's just funny how people are. But like, Omi's token has been punished by the bear market for forever. And I saw that God's entry put in there, the divergence that's been building up. And it really is building up. Like it pumps so high. Like Omi was one of the biggest gainers in the last bull market. And what swings too far to the upside swings too far to the downside. It's just the way it plays out. If you push a pendulum really far one way, guess what? It's going to go really far back the other way. And how far back? Sometimes you don't even know. Like it's come back crazy bad. And that's caused a lot of people to leave because the token price is cheap. And I'm like, wait, I thought you said you were here to invest. They're like, I am. Okay, so don't you want cheap? No, I want something where the action is. Don't you want something where the action is going to be, not where the action is? No, I want something where the action is. Okay, cool. You do your thing. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong on this. I mean, sometimes I get it wrong, but I'm just usually right because I'm playing the odds. And as an investor, I buy cheap and then I just wait and I try to buy where the action is going to be. And thank goodness the action still isn't here, which has allowed me to accumulate more and more OMI. And it's like, cool. If I had my perfect world, OMI would stay cheap for another 6 months. Like we did that interview with Definity and some things are coming together really well for Definity. I was like, that'd be so amazing if DeFi ran and OMI did nothing. Because then it's like, oh, some of my DeFi plays might go like 500x. And I'd be like, take profits. And I'm like, imagine if OMI stayed this cheap. I'd be like, oh my gosh, this would be the best thing that could ever happen. And some people don't get that. They're thinking like, OMI needs to go up or I'm out of here. It's like, look, it's going to go up when it does. Like, I don't know when the narrative is going to hit. And it's somewhat dependent on that. Like David Yu is doing the things he needs to do. The VeVe team is doing the things. They are crushing their competitors. It's just this narrative hasn't hit yet. And that's okay. David, you keep doing your stuff. This narrative of digital collectibles will hit. When it does, that tidal wave is going to take VeVe. It's going to take OMI. It's going to take Flow, NFL all day, UFC strike. It's going to take them all to new highs. And all these people that were patient and bought where the action was going to be, not where it is, where it's going to be, they're going to be like reaping the rewards. And all those people that chased where the action is already at, they're going to realize the hard way why I don't do that. It's not that I haven't done that. I just don't do that anymore.
I was going to say, I think we all done that at one point or another.
Yeah. True. It's a painful lesson. Some people, the lesson they learn from that is, oh, crypto is bad. And it's like, no, you're just doing it wrong.
Right.
When you do things wrong, you get bad results. It's just the way it works in life.
There's somebody that was talking before about VeVe NFTs continue to fall in value. Unfortunately, third-party solution with OMI to NFT was not well received at all. Them saying, I don't know how they say that despite it not being rolled out yet and it's only in beta, but I'll ignore that for now. And I go and basically respond and said, well, listen, whales haven't stopped buying. It seems that the only people that are new to investing sell out of good projects to chase green candles. And if VeVe is one of those things that I understand that some people say they're long-term investors because that's a smart, intelligent thing to do. But then they kind of get seduced by, they see 1 out of 1,000 traders go in and they do exceedingly well with it. But again, that's the exception, not the rule. Most people that trade, they don't do that well at it. And then when they go and they kind of get seduced by that, okay, I get it. Swing traders, can make a little bit of money. But it's these disruptive companies like VeVe are why long-term traders make such big bang on their buck. If you, over the last year or two, like CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, they're all closing down a bunch of stores because they're being disrupted by the likes of like Walmart and Amazon, all these people that are getting into their retail business. And that's what VeVe's doing. Like you see a bunch of local comic stores closing. And like, why is that? Well, because everything's going digital. So Marvel saw that, they pivoted. It's like, hey, VeVe, you're all about digital. Let me give you my business so that we can continue making money together. And again, that'll hit. We just don't know when. So again, the writing's on the wall, but people just, they don't
what
say
I
it.
realized is, and so like a lot of times I was in this conundrum of people when they ask me what I do, I teach people about really high risk investments that isn't right for 90% of people. And I throw in that last part because I realize everyone says they can buy low, but they really can't. Everyone says, oh, I'll be patient, I'm a long-term investor, but they really aren't. And they just get washed out. And now some are going to let it happen and then they'll learn and they'll actually become better. And some will let it happen and then they'll just blame like me or they'll blame someone else, even though they, went the opposite way of what I was telling them, but they won't take ownership. And that's just how some people are. Like, so it's just going to be what it's going to be. Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And investment principles are hard. This is why 90% of people do mediocre to poor in crypto. 5% do okay, and the remaining 5% crush it. Well, because the rest of people can't do what the 5% that crush it does. And the 5% that crush it has a lot to do with patience. Like, looking down the road, like, comics are going digital. These collectibles are going digital. You can see that there's huge amounts of money spent on collectibles, and the future of it is digital, and VeVe's #1 in that. So, gosh, I want to own as much of the token associated with VeVe as possible, especially while it's cheap, especially while people are telling me it's dead. That's when I love to buy. I mean, I was buying Axie Infinity, and people said it was dead. I was buying Cardano, and people were like, it's dead. It's totally dead, and it's a failed project. Team just hasn't realized it yet. The same things. And the last time you want to be buying is when everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's going to the moon and it's never going to stop. That's when you should be worried. So timing is good. And digital collectibles, like, I think they're the future, and VeVe is the #1 in that space with the biggest partnerships. They continue to crush it. It just doesn't feel like that. But don't let your emotions get ahead of you. The timing's just not right yet. You're just waiting to play it out. If you had been an investor in Amazon stock, I hate to say, most of you would have washed out. You would have sold it because it took a while, a long while. If you think 4 years is a long time, ooh, Amazon took 3 times crush it. And so, like, you would have washed out. So, like, 4 years in crypto, is the shortest time period anyone's ever had to wait to have an investment possibly go massively well for them. And yet some people, like, 4 years is way, way, way too long for them.
And that's why I was just, I mean, what do people consider long-term? I just realized that yesterday was my 3-year anniversary for VeVe.
Nice.
Not Ecomi, because I bought Omi before I ever got into the app.
Okay.
But I was just thinking, God, that's 3 years. Well, for me, I can consider myself long-term, but I mean, in the stock world, that's like 30 years. So I'm happy with my 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is something. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, we're super blessed. Normally, when you're making early stage business investments, one of the challenges people have when they come into crypto is they have no background in early stage business investment. And they don't realize usually it takes about 10 to 12 years for your potential returns to really play out. And that the failure rate is really, really high. The failure rate is like 70%. If you're lucky, 10% of what you invest in becomes like a home run. So in crypto space, because we have this run that happens every 4 years, ultimately the project you're investing in might not even make it. But if it just makes it to the next bull run and you can take massive profits on that, this is the type of environment that investors have better chance of hitting home runs than any time in history in a shorter span of time, which is why I go crazy about crypto. I'm like, this is the opportunity I've waited for my whole life. And when people don't get it, I just kind of like, darn, like, I wish I could explain it to them better, but I'm not going to try to make them drink. But they are missing something, and they will regret it for the rest of their lives when they see those who get it, the kind of returns that we're really going to make. And it's nice. I had one cycle to make some returns so people can say, okay, yeah, he does know what he's doing, and what he's doing does work. That's nothing compared to what this next cycle is going to do, as it kind of perfected and learned some additional lessons and learned a little bit better what to invest in. The returns myself, and I believe a lot of the audience are going to get in this coming bull run, are going to be crazy. And other people will be like dumbfounded with, wait, you did what? You made how much? Oh, you're lucky. I'll be like, lucky. What are you talking? Luck. Yes, there's a percentage of luck in that. Lucky often means recognizing the opportunity when it's there and not just dismissing it. So if that's your definition of luck, okay, then, we're all lucky because we recognized the opportunity for what it was and we took the right actions.
So I have a question for someone who is not my girlfriend.
Sorry, I couldn't help but laugh. That's very sweet.
No, Fam Bam, Tammy, and Lori Brenner protect me like mother hens from the dirty milks that are out there that want my seed. Anyway, I made a video the other day. I think it was a live stream, and I talked about one of VeVe's follies. And I feel like a Jerry for being on this side, but it's one thing that I'll just never let go of. VeVe had posted the other day saying, explore the wonders of our solar system with the views of our planet's digital collectibles from the United States Postal Service, featuring stunning digital stamp art of the 8 planets.
Yeah.
They had the perfect opportunity to correct the travesty of justice that NASA and everybody else had be placed on us, saying that Pluto was no longer a planet. I will die on that hill that they are. Tammy, what do you think about that horrendous miscarriage of justice?
I think it doesn't matter. If you want it to be a planet, be it a planet.
This is why
Don't
we're
flip
not
me off. I can't be his girlfriend. I don't.
In the same way that Muriel Finster told Principal Prickly that she could never be with a man that doesn't love recess, I could never be with someone that doesn't think Pluto is a planet.
I never said I didn't think Pluto was a planet.
You said it didn't matter to you. It's the same thing.
I said it. I do think it's a planet. What I'm saying is that it's not that it really doesn't affect
Look at how
me.
she backpedals. This is why Randy Travis is the perfect
just
choice
think,
for governor.
Now, if I was an astronomer or something like that, then I'd probably have more of an opinion. But it doesn't affect my everyday life, so it doesn't. I mean, no, I believe it's a planet, but doesn't mean that that's what other people. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at that lovely.
Rain, what are your thoughts?
You know, I have a lot of thoughts on business investment. Astrology, not so much.
It's a platonic friendship. That's amazing.
Love it.
Very good friend. We're very good friends. Oh, this is funny. Oh goodness.
All right. That's fine. Sorry, Rain, what were you saying?
Sorry.
I don't have a lot of opinions on astrology subjects.
Correct.
I do want to have. I mean, I don't think National Geographic has. I mean, maybe it's had a space magazine, but if we have Disney, we have Nat Geo. They have 230-something million followers on Instagram, and I'd like to tap into that. Can we get like Nat Geo covers? Like if we have comics and we have now manga, let's get that. Let's get some cool covers. I mean, if there's a Einstein paper in which he wrote on his unified field theory sold for $23,000. If that can get that, I think a well-placed, scarce National Geographic cover on the blockchain would do pretty well.
I know my 7th grade science teacher would have buy, especially if it had some of the Amazonian women that were topless on it. He seemed to like those ones.
I had the 7th grade teacher, I think her name was Miss Kowalczyk. She was really cool. She was young. She was passionate. She was blonde. I had a little crush on her. Anyway, well,
we know you like older women, so.
Fair point. Good. So I remember in the New York Post, they had this like evidence of like this new undiscovered species. It was like a 3-foot, like, I don't know, almost like human, like it was bipedal. So, they walked upright and they used weapons. They were in the Stone Age. But in the New York Post, they had drawn what it might look like, and it had shown its brown peen in all its glory. And I, as something of a scientist myself, decided to just show her the article. And then I had to go to the principal's office because I handed her what could be interpreted as a nude photography to a teacher. So I had to have a meeting about that. I forget where we were going with this.
We're talking about my 7th grade science teacher and his propensity towards National Geographic, that's studying Amazonian and African women that happen to not have a lot of top clothing. Yeah. He was never sent to the principal's office for it, though, So I guess students and teachers are in different categories.
Yeah, apparently. Someone who's in a different category than me is I feel like I go in and I shop or take a look at VeVe collectibles a lot, what's on the market, what they're going for. But I somehow missed a sub 100 Todd McFarlane that went for $1,971. I don't know how.
Wow.
that is the cheapest sub 100 for Todd McFarlane I've ever seen go.
Yeah.
Now I know obviously that even though that's an insane deal, that still might be better in crypto. Rain, if you were to see a deal like that, like if you were to find that same thing,
He's fine.
less than 2K for a sub 100 Todd McFarlane, you just do it? Be like, I need it, or is it discipline?
No, I just buy more OMI. It's just if you buy something like that, can you ever sell it? Like that's one of the hard things about buying certain collectibles is like, can you really sell it? Are you going to be able to part with it? So is it really an investment, or was it just like a flex piece? And like, I'm all for flex pieces, but I'm all for flex pieces. So the way I think about it is investment can get you a really high net worth. Use that net worth to buy cash flowing assets that provide so much cash that you have trouble spending it all. So then buy your flex pieces, but don't buy your flex pieces yet.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. I'm patient with that, right? Because I want my flex pieces to be like, well, the money coming in, so much money coming in per month that it's like having a hard time spending it. That's what I look forward to. And that's the future that I'm working towards. So it's like, am I going to put that much into Todd McFarlane that I probably can't sell now? It's not time for that. Maybe down the road.
Very demure, very mindful. Thank you for that. Have you guys taken a look at the VeVe Comics website recently?
Nope. I haven't even, I'll be transparent. I haven't bought any comics off of the new website. I don't do well with change.
Oh, yeah, same.
Don't do well with change. So, which is why I really need to learn Stacker for the OMI to NFT thing so I can figure that out. I got to take some time into that, but right now I'm just so busy with work and whatnot that it's been difficult for me.
I feel you. Same. We have a little bit of fun. I don't, at this point, I feel like if anyone's ever read World Weekly News, it was one of those like tabloids years ago that clearly, like it was one of the articles was about this man had bullets coming out of his face, like his sweat pores shot bullets. So it was clearly fake news, but they were fun to read. The whole newspaper was like $1 every article that came out. But I feel like people they know that all those stories are fake in the same way that there's this one person that tends to throw up a lot, like I think almost all fake news. I don't think I've ever seen anything true. And they said that David Yu is printing free tokens without having to buy them. He uses a null address to mint them and burn new tokens. In this way, OMI is very inflationary. If it were a country's currency, it'd be worse in the world, it'd be Venezuela. Obviously, this person is Richard 253804990, that person. Obviously, this is very easily debunked. I think it got debunked in the first couple seconds. This is something that obviously is very easy to spot, but every now and then you have somebody that goes on and they put something when they phrase it like a question or a concern, and then they put something and they just frame it like it's real, but it's not. How do you guys go and spot those? Do you guys just ignore that? How do you spot those types of people?
Whenever I see stuff like that on Facebook, not Instagram, but X, I don't engage. For me, I just feel that engaging in that it's not going to benefit me. It's not going to benefit anyone. They're going to believe what they want to believe, and I believe what I want to believe, which is why I surround myself with like-minded people. So for me personally, I don't engage. I just ignore. I keep going on.
What about you, Rain?
Well, there's a beauty to having like free exchange of ideas that anyone can have a voice. And there's a downside because anyone can have a voice. Some people share their voice and, just don't know anything of value. And so over time in this world, you learn that you've got to screen what kind of information you're going to intake. So it's like, if you're intaking information from idiots and taking it as real, it's going to mess up your future. You're you're taking action off of bad data from sometimes people with bad intentions. So a lot of life doing well is screening what kind of information you're going to listen to and then acting on that. I mean, a good way to tell is never take advice from somebody that doesn't have the lifestyle that you're working for.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if somebody, you know, I don't know, doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Like some broke person's like, oh, you really should invest your money and you should buy Ford stock. And it's like, cool. Have you bought Ford stock? Well, no, but I plan to. I work at McDonald's. I can't afford Ford stock. Well, why are you telling me to buy it? Well, that's because that's what I heard the smart people do. Okay, how about I talk to somebody who's worth millions of dollars and say, what do you do? What did you do to get here? He's going to give me a lot better advice and a lot better counsel. And maybe he's going to miss it. Like Warren Buffett caused me to miss out on Google's IPO. I had $4,000 set aside when I was at the university. I was going to buy Google stock when it IPO'd, and Warren Buffett's like, oh, no, it's overpriced and this, and then a big rant on why it was a bad investment. And I thought, oh, you know, Warren Buffett's richest man in the world. He must know what he's talking about. And he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to new technology. He doesn't understand technology investment at all. He understands paint investment and wood and shipping investments, but he doesn't understand new technology. So, you know, I didn't know how to screen the advice I was taking. I was still kind of at the first tier of, well, he's really rich, so he must know what he's talking about. And I learned later he's really rich, but he knows what he's talking about within this specter, but not this specter. So over time, hopefully you're growing in wisdom and you learn how to selectively take advice from people who know what they're talking about within the sector that they are talking about.
So before I get to Lovett's, there's something to say on Lovett. For those of you that don't know, Ford's partner, Electrify America, ranked dead last in 2024 EV charging survey. Year after year, Tesla Supercharger network continues to rank as a far superior option versus other third-party networks. The Cybertruck is absolutely destroying anything that Ford pickups are doing as far as how much are made and how much are sold. So Rain, you got a if you still would like to purchase any type of motor vehicle stocks, I would definitely say Ford is not the way to do it. Anyway, love it, saying patiently waiting for YouTube monthly payment to buy more OMI. I just wanted to check out this person's channel. They post exclusively only Flippy content from Happy Tree Friends, and that's a couple thousand views per video. Sometimes only a couple hundred, but a lot of times
awesome.
That is pretty cool. I need to start doing stuff like that. Tammy, I know you refused to get a YouTube channel and join the rest of us, but Rain, have you
maybe someday?
Have you ever tried shorts? Rain, have you ever tried to go and just do like a 30-second short or a minute short?
Yeah, I have some shorts. I don't do a ton of them. A lot of what so shorts are really good to kind of like help people get content in little bites, which is cool. Like if I were trying to build a channel that the channel made me money, I would do a bunch of shorts. I'm in this conundrum, right? So my investments make me money. I have the YouTube channel because I was doing all the research anyway, so I might as well share it with like-minded people. And together we could get a big enough channel that we could bring on guests like Definity and Bumper and David Yu and other projects that I'm interested in. And then when you get to talk to the project, you get even better information for better investments. So I do have my YouTube channel so that I make more money, but I have my YouTube channel so I make more money from smarter investments because it pays so much better than YouTube could ever pay me. But I don't rely on YouTube income, right? So that's why I refuse to sell out my audience in order to get more views, because one of the ways I could get a ton more views is 3 months ago, I could have changed to covering meme coins like crazy. Sure, it would have wrecked my audience a lot, and I could have done a video on like top 10 meme coins to buy right now, and like I would have gotten way more views. And I could have done why Shiba Inu is going to go to the moon and blah, blah, blah. And I would have grown and my YouTube revenue would have increased. But my YouTube, what they pay me directly, would have crushed my audience, would have hurt the long-term goals I have for YouTube, which is, hey, we're investors here. My group, we're investors. Let's make better decisions by getting on some different projects and speaking to them. That way our investments do better. And in the long term, it does take some patience, but that way outperforms what YouTube could pay me.
Preach. And
Yes,
we'll
I did call McDonald's workers dumb. Not really.
How
I did
rude
start
of
my
him.
career first at Dairy Queen and then at McDonald's.
Yep.
And I actually learned tons about being a good employee at McDonald's. I quite enjoyed my time at McDonald's. It was a job I loved, but it's not a good long-term career.
When I was 19, I worked at a tropical smoothie, and it was the #1 tropical smoothie in the country when it first opened. It was a sweet place on Long Island. It was right in the Epic Shopping Center. I felt very proud that that tropical smoothie was #1 that month or that year, while Best of Long Island voted Levittown Animal Hospital the best animal hospital on Long Island. So I worked, the two places I worked got #1 on Long Island. I thought that was pretty economic. Anyway, there was a VeVe app update this morning. So for anyone that does not know or have not done it, update your app. It's nothing crazy, just minor fixes and improvements. Another update is that David Yu had tweeted Moon, Cat, or the Little Prince. Little Prince is having another little drop. I think that'll be fun. Are you guys gonna grab that?
Nope.
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 I rarely grab stuff on the drop, and the only stuff I grab, like Wolverine. Yes, I got Wolverine on the drop, but
fair point.
I'm
Big
patient.
Angel Tesla sold 11,588 Cybertrucks this year, and Ford has sold 15,411. Just as EV, yes, I was comparing EVs. I wasn't comparing it. I misspoke before. I was only comparing EVs, but also Tesla pretty much sells everything it makes, where Ford has a massive several month-long inventory just because their stuff doesn't sell as much. Jose and his Crypto Rain's coverage of Definity was great, very informative. Yeah, we love that. That's Tammy said she's gonna get some from her next windfall when she gets that.
I will.
I'll do a couple of purchases, a little bit of Definity. There's a whale friend of mine that is going to be purchasing a large amount of OMI over the next 7 to 10 days. I'll help him start buying tomorrow. I'll keep you all posted how that goes. I have no fear in telling people that, because obviously it's peak FUD. It's not going to matter. But there is like 650,000 in volume today. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Or 687,000 in volume. Despite the volume, we're down about 2%. Yeah, that would have been nice to know, nice to have at the 3.9 that we were at before. I got $1 million there, which was cool. So I'm up a little bit.
Nice.
Moving on. I don't know if you know the OMI veterans. I've just learned of this channel myself, saying we're excited to announce a global giveaway for the OMI veterans community. One lucky winner will receive this exclusive OMI New Era hat. So go to them. I told one of the people that I would give them a shout out. That was Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown comes here. It's known as Fast Eddie.
Nice.
As far as BitForex, we did have an update there. Foster Hilt says they have been periodically processing withdrawals for other tokens, but there have been no OMI token withdrawals in over a week. So hopefully, as the other ones get done, we'll get some later this week. Rain, did you get yours out yet?
I'm checking right now, but I haven't checked in like 5 days. Let's see. I'm expecting that it's not here yet.
Probably not. Wes says electric cars are a fad. Hydrogen is the future. Mark my word. Consider them marked, Wes.
It didn't come in. It'd be interesting to see if electric cars stay. If Elon Musk weren't behind developing them, I just don't think it would make it. But because he's improving batteries so much and he's reducing the cost of producing stable batteries so much over time, maybe they do stick around. I haven't been bullish on them, but gosh, if it weren't Elon Musk, I would not be bullish on them at all.
Yeah.
Being Elon Musk, I have a hard time betting against Elon Musk. He just finds a way to make things that shouldn't happen.
Smartest person in the world. There's a guy named, I think, Sandy Monroe. He's a engineer and he every single new Tesla that's made, he gets one, and he does these in-depth breakdowns, and he explains very simply, like, hey, this is how this works, and it's great, very educational. But there are some things, like certain batteries, he's like, I don't know how they did this. Like, it's right in front of me, and I'm looking at it. I don't know how this is possible. Again, one of the smartest men in the world. I would not bet against him either.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Ernie's home. Ernie, you guys met Ernie over in
San
Mini
Diego.
Whale Week in San Diego. How did
New York.
Oh yeah, New York. How do y'all like him?
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
He's awesome.
No, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's great. So there is a rumor.
I can't wait until we all go to Colombia.
Yeah. We all want to go, and I think all of us want to go for different reasons, but yeah, we want to go. And get
We all want to go for different reasons. I'm going to get a Brazilian butt lift there. Not really.
I would love to get I don't know if they do it well. I'd love to get calf implants. It doesn't matter what I do; they just don't.
Calf, yeah. I'm gonna get some dental work, get my teeth perfect. I can get that $1 million smile, like that Matthew, the comic who's super funny and politically.
Oh, Matt Rife. Oh, Tammy loves Matt
Rife. Yeah, his smile. If you saw his smile from like 8 years ago,
I don't love him. Like, I'm in love with him. I love the comedy. He's funny.
It's okay to be in love with Matt Rife. Half of the female population is.
I am happy.
I think she wants to be Matt Rife's girlfriend.
Still not his girlfriend, though.
It's okay. Most women I know thoroughly love Matt Rife and his perfect jawline. Anyway, there are some rumors here that Kamala Harris had tapped Gary Gensler and promised him the Treasury Secretary position. And then there's someone named Dennis Porter that said that was debunked. But I don't know which to believe right now. Do any of y'all have insight? Have y'all heard or looked into that?
Nope.
I just have some speculation there. So, like, Gary Gensler was appointed mostly by what's her name, the anti-crypto army gal. What's her name? Elizabeth Warren. And Elizabeth Warren recently came over and endorsed Kamala Harris, but that comes with some strings. And I think the string she wanted was Gary Gensler to keep his place, because otherwise the anti-crypto army would have no power whatsoever if they didn't have Gary Gensler in their pocket. And so who knows? Like, Kamala has to win first. I don't know. They pull the rabbit out of the hat with Biden. Who knows if they can do that again? But she cannot get more than 1,200 people to show up to a rally, and probably half of those people are paid. Like, she's just so uninspiring. So going back to Obama, like, the thing, whether you like him or hate him, inspiring for sure. People showed up because they loved him. Oh, Biden, no, nobody loves him. And Kamala's worse. She is perhaps the most insincere politician I've ever seen in my life. She's just not likable, right? And like, she was even on something, and she's like, we gotta stay woke. We all need to stay woke. And you're looking at the hosts that believe in her side, and their face just showed like disgust, like, oh my gosh, can we not put out a better candidate? I don't know. Can the Democrat Party? I guess they can't put out a better candidate. I don't know. Like, she's just not likable. Doesn't mean she can't win. Who knows? Biden won. But so who knows? We'll see how it plays out. But I do expect that if she wins, that it'll be the same with the SEC. They'll probably put somebody even worse in charge of the SEC and promote him to Treasury Secretary. He did exactly what the Biden administration asked him to do.
Yeah. One of my favorite things that the Dems have, I mean, it's horrible, but it shows how kind of crafty they are and how savage they are. They posted a picture online of Kamala at like this rally she was supposedly at, and it looked like it had several hundred people there. And no one thought anything of the wiser until someone looked at the aircraft. And on the reflection of the aircraft, there were no people there. And they had put AI like to make it look like it was there. I was like, that is amazing. Like, they didn't get away with it. but that was just so like they did that. I was like, this is how bad they want to win. Like this is.
They believe reality is what they can convince people to believe, not that they don't believe reality is like reality. They're like reality is irrelevant. Reality is what we say it is. So no, Kamala Harris doesn't turn out 20,000 people easily. I don't know what you're reading. She can barely turn out 2,500 people. Like her rallies are not well attended. There's not like a lot of the people saying she's awesome. Bullshit. Where are the people? Why are people not showing up? She's not a very likable candidate. That doesn't mean she can't win. It just means people won't go see her in person because they don't care.
My channel says "F you incels." Oh, I know Rain is married and Tammy has been married, so there's and they have kids, so it's proof that they have been sexually active. I myself, though, it has been purported that I am a virgin, so maybe that it is possible that you are 1 for 3 on this my channel. I can't confirm or deny. But that is
you're struggling a little bit in your worldviews, my channel. You were saying that Elon Musk is destroying Tesla. You might not know the history of Tesla, but Tesla was totally failing, and Elon Musk bought it and turned it into something. So Tesla was dead, and he made it something. So how you could say he's destroying it? And Twitter, well, I don't know. He gave us free speech back through buying Twitter. Now, some people hate that because they don't want to listen to other people's opinions, such as people who then say F you incels, aren't very good at listening to opinions that they don't agree with without turning vitriolic. Cool. You shouldn't be here. Stay off of Twitter. It's not your place because you're going to be forced to deal with opinions contrary to your own, and you're probably not in a place that you're ready for that.
I find it fun that people.
I just read. I'm sorry. I just read Big A's. So in the poker world, because that's kind of my life. There's a rule: no religion, no politics. I'm just saying. We don't talk. No religion, no politics. Oh my goodness.
I love bringing that up at the table.
I know you do. I know. I know.
It gets in other people's heads. Like when people are like confused, and I'll be like, I don't know. If it's like a bunch of, it depends how they talk. I'll be like, so how y'all feel about minorities? Or I'll be like, so who else is voting MAGA? And they just, it like distracts them from what they're trying to do. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But that's that's fun.
Yeah. No, I got you. I hear you.
That's funny.
It's a good time. So how do we now? Let's pretend that Ravi Krishna Pillai is Dashi. So we'll now refer to this person as Dashi. If Dashi came out and said that Dashi had 20 million and sold 10 already, and has the idea in his head that it's not going anywhere, what advice would we give to Dashi?
Sit and watch and learn.
Wait. I mean,
you're going to see how it plays out, and you're going to learn that, wow, you were right, or you're going to learn that, wow, you were wrong. And either way, you're going to learn, oh, wow, you were right. Gosh, I called it as dead, cool. And you were right. There's a chance that you're going to be correct on that. Now, I'd rate that chance as about 5% or less, probably less, but you could be right. I'd rate the chances really high that Omi turns around when the narrative hits for digital collectibles, and it's a really strong future narrative. And Omi goes absolutely crazy. And then you're going to be on the wrong side of that if it does play out that way. Now, if it goes to 0, then I end up on the wrong side of that. And darn it, one of my positions didn't perform.
Right.
Well. Shoot.
Yeah, people ask me that all the time. What happens if it goes to 0? I very fortunate. I work in an industry that people are always going to gamble. It's just human nature. So I'm going to always have a job. I'm okay. I guess that's for me. It's partly why I'm more willing to be patient, because I know that I'll always have a job. Not that I always want to work, because that is not the case, but
professional gambler, and professional gamblers aren't truly gambling. They're playing the odds.
Right.
And what investment is the same thing. You learn when to recognize odds when they're stacked in your favor and take those plays. So it's really not too different. In fact, one girl was like, "What is it that you do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a professional gambler," because I didn't want to go into a long thing. But you're just taking strategic odds where the odds you can recognize when the odds are stacked in your favor. But that does not guarantee you're going to win. It just means the odds are stacked in your favor. Your chance of winning are high.
Yeah.
I like how Tammy brought up people are always going to gamble. And I think it's corporations are going to do what's good for corporations.
Yeah.
And because I feel like a lot of corporations are made up of savages and some would say psychopaths, that, psychopaths being CEOs are kind of in the same, at least on the same stick. But people in general, they like to gamble. They get sometimes let the worst of themselves out, and sometimes it works out for them. For the ones where it does work out, you get people that are on the fence that maybe wouldn't have gambled, but they know someone that made it, that made a lot of money and do whatever. And I think that's what's going to happen with NFTs. There's going to be anything where you can make money on, or where people can manipulate the market. They're going to go and they're going to do it. And it doesn't have to be VeVe. It could start off with any other platform. I know DraftKings just kind of deleted theirs, but let's say it's like an NFL all day. They're like, okay, maybe someone on football players like friends list, they're millionaires, whatever, or they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they say, okay, let's go hype up this player because he's doing really well, and let us go in and have our friends talk about it. We'll pay Pat McAfee like $50K. We'll pay Bobby, the general, to kind of talk this person up. We'll buy a bunch of their NFL all day tickets, and then once it goes up, it costs them maybe, a couple $100,000 to do that, but then they cash out for millions. And then they go and they do it on another player, or they do it on another platform. And when that happens, of course, it's going to happen on VeVe. There's going to be people that are going to buy up the floor of anything that they want. I mean, you saw it happen last cycle. People buy up whatever. They make a pump video about it, and then they dump it after they make the video. But I mean, and there'll be people that return to do that, and there'll be newer people that do that as well. So I don't know. For me, when I sell into it, I'll probably sell a couple of the Mighties. I'll probably sell a couple of I have my number 43 Luke Skywalkers. What about you guys though? When that narrative does hit and you see all this new money flowing into VeVe, what are you guys going to sell into? Are you going to sell and cash out, or are you going to sell and just reallocate that money to other things that you really want?
For me, I don't, I probably won't cash out. I will probably just reallocate it to other things, maybe complete some sets, get some stuff that I want that I don't have. For me, I want to make money with my collectibles, but what's there is there. I'm more thinking that I'm going to cash my OMI out during the cycle. But what I do sell, it will be anything that I've stacked. Anything that I own one of, unless it's something that I really don't want, I'm not going to sell. Like I mean, I bought a whole bunch of comics when we were trying to get to top wallets. Remember that, Randy, when we kept buying all the cheap comics?
Oh yeah.
Trying to get into the, yeah. So I remember buying some comics for $1.50 and they're at $2.20 now, so those are the things that I'll probably sell or burn. If they get a burning mechanism, I might burn. So
same.
Not for me. I probably won't cash out.
Yeah, I'll definitely cash out some. I learned my lesson. I started to cash out some things in January 22. I just didn't cash out near as much as I should have. Now, actual cash out wasn't available, so I sold a bunch of stuff. And then when prices dropped by half, I was like, rebought back in. Whoops. Should have just left.
Well, I might sell things. I just don't know if I'll pull the money actually out.
Yeah.
Just so I can.
I'll definitely pull it out, and I'll buy some real world assets with it. And then cash flow, right? So what I love about crypto is there's no better way to go to massive numbers. But then once you have those massive numbers, then buying cash flow producing assets is the way to go, as well as keeping some aside to reinvest. But there's no greater vehicle over a 4-year period that can make you better returns if you play it smart. Now, unfortunately, for 90% of people, they don't play it smart. They invest in the wrong things at the wrong time. Cool. Okay. But if you learn how to do this, and it's not all that complicated, it's just emotionally difficult, but it's as simple as this: buy low, sell high. Is OMI at all-time highs? No, it's at all-time lows over the past 3 years. Cool. What's its chance of surviving from here? Well, obviously, some people in the audience think it's dead and it's never going to survive. Cool. I don't know what the factual basis for that emotional belief is, because I see quite the opposite. They're quite vibrant and alive, and their chance of surviving the next year and a half for when the market goes absolutely crazy is quite high. It's one of the ones that I think has the highest chance in the whole of crypto market to still be around in a year and a half. And so that's a bet that I've taken very large bets on, that OMI VeVe will still be alive in a year and a half. And therefore, if the digital collectibles narrative comes, then the OMI token likely will go crazy. And at that point, I'll be taking profits out of that, rolling it into real estate or some other cash flowing assets.
I can't wait. I don't know exactly what I'll have as far as ability to cash out in a timely manner, because as we know, I like to hold on to things and like, oh, well, it could go up. And if, you know, I think cashing out at least a decent amount at 2.5 cents is probably pretty smart. But then it's like, oh, but when it goes up to 5 cents, I'll have double. And then, you know, I'll just say the same thing all the way up. So hopefully you guys can be like, hey, now's a good time. And I'll be like, all right, that's fine.
Yep. I'm definitely selling some OMI for sure.
Yeah. Real world assets is going to be hard. I've never, outside of stuff in the military, I've never driven anything really crazy. So hopefully the Cybertruck will keep me nice and occupied. Oh yeah, we got Rain. You didn't go. Tammy was talking mad crap on the Cybertruck.
Shut up! I still rode in it.
Yeah, of course.
You're talking about Pro the Doge Cybertruck?
Yeah, that was great. I tried to tell Tammy, like, oh, you're good to, you know, you could ride with these people. And she's like,
I said no.
I know you did. You said no.
Just because it's ugly doesn't mean I don't want to ride in it. I even told Pro the Doge, I think it's butt ass ugly, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to ride in it. And then we did that 0 to 60 thing, and my phone flew, and yeah, no, it was amazing.
She just described why Danny DeVito still has sex in his life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm never going to own a Cybertruck. Now, I was looking at their Roadsters. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, those are awesome. Those are hot cars.
Yeah.
The Cybertruck is interesting, right? It is a current social flex piece, right?
Yeah.
I love that he made it bulletproof, which is freaking cool. You know, and I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. Would I buy one? I like Pro the Doge's wrap on it a lot.
Yeah.
That made it look sexy. I feel like the base colors that comes in, or the base color, is just okay. So the wrap he put on it was freaking cool. Made it way more interesting. That I saw that, I was like, yeah, I like that. Would it make sense? I don't know. Then you got to get your garage outfitted with the electric charger, and it just starts to change some patterns in your life. Who knows?
You know, I talked to him too. He, because he doesn't own his home, he rents. So he doesn't have a plug-in at his house. He goes to like places to charge your car, you know, the stations. He goes to stations to charge his car because he doesn't have a charger.
That's interesting. Then it makes your life even harder, which is like more of an argument that I'm like, meh, I'm out for now.
I would, I don't know what, I mean, hopefully I get the email soon. I haven't gotten it yet. Because I didn't order. People started ordering in November of 2020. I didn't start ordering until I think March or April of 2021. So they started to fill those orders. I'll keep you all posted though. Hey, Mr. MC1, how's it going, fam?
Yes.
Get you on next week. We got to hang out with him on Friday. It was great. We had a lot of, he got to speak at this event. The event, right? I don't know if I told you about it. It's called Asian. So it's Asian, but with an 8 instead of an A.
Oh, man.
Awesome event. They featured VeVe in the magazine, which was great. I'll be featured in it next issue. It'll come out in October. Unfortunately, that launch party is going to be in Portugal in the same week that Comic-Con is, so I won't be able to go.
Oh,
And
I was gonna say Portugal sounds fun.
yeah, and Vincent Zerzolo was there
Yep.
from the Addiction comic, and then so is Andrew Yang. That was really cool. Got to meet him. He's coming on the podcast at some point. Just got to lock down a date. Keep you all posted.
Yeah, I saw pictures that Mr. MC1 posted.
With all
they
of
look
his
fun.
politics, but I really like him, and that's cool. Like, I don't agree with every, I have a bunch of friends that have very different political ideals than me. Cool. They're actually the funnest to talk to about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Anyway, I've been going for about 90 minutes. I think y'all want to go over before we bounce.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I miss everybody.
Of course. What about you, Rains?
Just timing of the market, right? So there's a chance that the market really doesn't go up till this time next year. Probably it'll happen sooner, but we really just don't know. And when different narratives hit, I don't know. Like, DeFi hasn't run in like 2.5 years. DeFi is due. Meme coin narrative went pretty strong. It probably has another run in it when new money from new people starts FOMOing into the crypto space. Meme coins may run again. That's a narrative that I don't ever try to play. There's way too much crap in it, not enough substance at all. But the DeFi narrative is a good one. The digital collectibles narrative will come around. As far as timing, some of that just has to do with luck. It has to do with when celebrities start socially flexing their pieces they've been secretly picking up. And there are major celebrities who have VeVe gold and silver logos. They have NFL all day, NBA Top Shots. That narrative will come around. When it does, it'll swing a lot of attention this way. And that's when VeVe collectibles will run. And that's probably when Omi will run. And that could be 2 months from now. It could be 10 months or 15 months from now. I don't know when. I'm just waiting for that to play out. There's a lot of patience. Like, when I was talking to these people about what I do, and they're like, well, why is it you say only 10% of people can do it? And I was like, everyone says they have patience. They just don't. They can't wait it out. And like 4 years is the shortest investment cycle I've ever seen in any investment vehicle for forever. And I've been investing for 25 years. So I'm familiar with a lot of different investment vehicles. 4 years is the life cycle of crypto, and 4 years is very, very, very short. Real estate cycle is 17 to 21 years from top to the next top. So like 4 years, if it's too long for somebody to wait, it doesn't get any shorter than that. In fact, it doesn't usually get this short. But 90% of people just can't wait that out. They need enough people reinforcing that what they're doing. So like when it goes really, really down and they see people like in the comments saying, oh my gosh, Omi is dead. They're like, uh-oh, what if it is dead? Oh my gosh, people are saying it's dead. I better get out. And then they do end up selling the bottom, essentially. Yeah. Instead of buying more at really cheap prices, they look around. Like, if you want some good FUD, go to CoinMarketCap, look at the Omi token, look at the right-hand column and all the people saying Omi is dead. Now, all broke and haven't made a good investment to effing save their life, but listen to them if that's what you want. Or you can counter trade the general sentiment, because if you were to simply boil down what I do, I just counter trade what the general sentiment is. So I bought Cardano when everyone said it was dead. I bought Axie Infinity when everyone said this blockchain gaming idea is stupid. It'll never happen. The game's not even launched yet. A lot of NFL all day, NBA Top Shots about it. What the F is that? Nobody's even heard of it. And it's the NBA license. They could have done a better job to market it. Nobody even knows about it. So all these things that went over 100x, I bought Omi at the, at the pre-sale. So like all these things that went over 100x, they didn't, everybody wasn't talking about them. They were risky, but they had strong fundamental reasons why I thought this has a good chance of surviving. And guess what? They went up over 100x. But I definitely didn't look at what Joe Schmo from CoinMarketCap says about what he thinks the future of Omi's token is going to do. Why? In fact, I like looking there just so I can see that the general sentiment, which is almost always wrong in life, is like saying how shitty it is. That's actually kind of makes me feel better. Like, okay, cool. I am doing the right thing because I'm doing the opposite of what those guys are doing. Like my mentor in real estate investment was worth $200 million. And I just absorbed as much of this guy's time as I could. And he said, like, literally, he's like, you want the quickest, shortest way to get rich in life. Just find out what 95% of people are doing and do the opposite of that. And you'll be rich within 2 decades. And you know, with crypto, it's even faster. So find out what 95% of people are doing and do the opposite of that. And you probably do really well. So 95% of people are saying Omi is dead and that meme coins are the place to be. Okay. So
I hear that a lot.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah. And let's not forget that about a year ago, no, I'm sorry. It was about maybe 2 years ago, Paul Barron had put Recur in his top 10 projects that you should get into and invest in.
About the same time that he said, you know, if VeVe was dead.
Yeah. God, it's been 2 years.
That's when he put it in his top 10. This time last year, it was, I think they had declared bankruptcy and they're done. So it had to be 2 years ago.
Amazing how time flies when you're having fun.
No, right? Great times. Anyway, let's talk off camera for a bit. Thank you all for coming. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi.
Bye-bye.